Yeah, before we talk hoops, second time we've kind of had to start out one of these press conferences addressing a tragedy. Thoughts and prayers, obviously, with the families of, Sarah Beckstrom and Andrew Wolf, the two, West Virginia National Guardsmen that obviously one was fatally shot and one was critically shot. So definitely thinking about them and their families, and one of our core components in our program is service. Believe, serve, compete is kind of our program philosophy. And again, whether it's active military, retired, I can't think of a higher level of service that somebody would do. And it's the simplest way to describe it is it's just sad. Sad stuff. But definitely wanted to take the time to let everybody know my thoughts and prayers are with, as our program is, with the families of those two. And like I said, it's just sad. So from basketball standpoint, thought we got off to a good start defensively in particular, made simple plays. We had a lot of respect for these guys coming into the game. Again, as we always do, like our guys were keenly aware that they beat Loyola Chicago as 23-point underdogs. They went down to Marshall last week and played a good Marshall team very, very close to the last minute. Miami of Ohio, was undefeated, and Mercyhurst was beating those guys with a minute to go. So they certainly had our respect. Coach Mangel's been there a long time. He's done a great job, and I think they finished third in their league last year, and they'll be right in the mix of that. And I thought our defensive activity on the ball, getting deflections, disrupting what they were trying to do offensively, was really good. Most of the night, there was the one little stretch in the first half where I thought it slipped a little bit. We had a little lack of communication. We lost Blunt, number 4, and their best player, and he made us pay. Kind of went on a little 10-0 personal run, but we were able to steady that and finish the first half right. And thought as the game went on, our communication level was really high on our switches, and did just enough to finish the game the right way.
Questions?
Ross, it's the fewest points allowed in basically 10 years. Especially the second half. Why was the defense so good?
Yeah, I thought our attention to detail was good. Our communication was good. We communicated. We were switching a lot, and so obviously you're going to be guarding different people. And I think in the first half, we didn't communicate clearly enough. If I was switching off a driver, maybe now I'm switching on to a shooter, and we lost those guys. And I thought as the game went on, we did a better job of communicating that clearly, and they run really good actions and put you in some difficult situations that we were able to kind of switch everything and level them off and kept the ball out of the paint, and did a good job on 11. He's a good player, came in, averaged about 13 a game, and Blunt averages about 16 a game, preseason first-team all-league guard in their league. And you saw that one little stretch in the first half when he got loose. He hurt us, and we just did a good job on those two guys all night long.
What makes Amir Jenkins so good, and why is the game coming to him so quickly?
Well, he's a good listener. We've talked about that in before. Like, he listens to instruction, and then he has the maturity and the ability to process what he's being asked to do and then go do it. So that starts with that. He's got an incredible work ethic. He's always in the gym, as most of our guys are, and he likes to compete. And he's getting more comfortable. Again, you're talking about a guy that was not here for the summer, and then got here and kind of got crash coursed in the fall, and he's a good player, man, and he's got a great heart. He plays to win. He's a competitor, and I think you'll just continue to see him getting better and better.
Was it a luxury to have a week of practice after you crammed 7 games into 20 days?
Yeah, we needed it, and we needed it for a myriad of reasons, and when Jackson got hurt in the summer, And then, and even in the month of September, we were disjointed. You didn't have Jackson. Harlan missed significant time in September with a hamstring issue, probably about a month. Kept him out. Morris was out about 3 weeks. And so you kind of had this revolving door of people that were in and out from a health standpoint, and what it did was it cut your ability to practice short. And then you play those first 5 games without Chance, and you know you're not going to have Chance and Jackson, so you have 8 players in your rotation. Well, that limits what you can do in practice too, because the last thing you could do at that point is somebody step on an ankle or jam a finger. Now you don't even have enough guys to go play games. And so what it really did more than anything, it allowed us to have like some competitive practices against ourselves. And that's what we did that first Tuesday and Wednesday. We just spent a lot of time playing the game itself against ourselves. Because you get in scout mode where you're just literally preparing for teams you're playing in a short condensed, and you don't get to play the game as much as you want to play. And so we got to play more than we had, and then got back kind of in your normal prep mode Friday and Saturday. So it was nice to have everybody out there and nice to be able to practice.
Defensively, this was obviously an improvement over the 2 games in Charleston. Is there a little bit that you've got to take into account of the opponent, their size, obviously was something that gave you some trouble down there? Or is it more, hey, we executed better today?
Combination of both. When you play against talent, you can play things the right way, and they can still make them, but there's also the intent behind what you're trying to do. And I felt like, in particular, that Xavier game, our intent on what we would like to do and what we were trying to do was not good. And then you couple in your intent not being well and you're playing talented, you get what you saw. You know what I mean? But I thought our attention to detail was good tonight, and we just got to continue to getting better and improving, and still a lot of ways to improve even from today.
What did you make of Jackson's debut? How do you think he did today?
Yeah, I mean, I thought he was good. Again, he has a very good voice out there, and a lot of time your forwards are kind of your middle linebackers of your defense because they're at the back of it, so they can see everything that's going on, and they're usually the one communicating ball screen coverages. So he has a very good voice. I thought he finished well around the basket for not playing a game, and then missed a lot of time as it was, but stepped up there, made 3 free throws, gives you some versatility. He's another good rebounder, and yeah, I mean, I thought for his first time out, it was pretty good.
Is he gonna have to ramp back up, or is he like 100% good to go?
Well, he's 100% physically, and we're always gonna be. We're never going to put anybody out there that's not 100%, ready to go. And so he probably, we probably could have tried to squeeze him in maybe in Charleston, but we wanted to be sure, and we wanted to give him this full week to practice. And so he's just the conditioning and getting his rhythm back. That'll take a little time. But as far as his health, there's no kind of, minute restrictions or anything other than just the flow of the game.
Coach, with the Chance leading you guys in scoring tonight, that's 7 different leading scorers in 8 games. Do you have any idea going into a game like who your go-to guy is going to be? And are there pluses and minuses?
Yeah. I think a lot of it is going to be what are people trying to take away from you. And you can't always allow that to happen. You got to find ways to get Honor going and get them some looks. But again, in the first half, they did some boxing 1 and they did some triangle and 2 for the first time. No one had done that to us. But then you open up the paint production and Amir and Chance getting downhill. So some of it is, I think, the good of it is it's an unselfish group that's committing to making the right play, understanding that the right play may not always involve them shooting and scoring. I think where we've got to continue to get better, and I think we can get better, is just getting more consistent production from everybody on the same night. And, and you're not always going to have everybody playing great on the same night, but if you can just get a little more consistency across the board, then I think you can really start seeing, you can start seeing just the evolution of an offense and a little more flow and a little more comfort out there. But I think it's just, to answer your question, yeah, there's good and bad to it. I think the good of it is that you have multiple guys that can score and have the willingness and the capability. And then the negative would be just more consistency from individuals on a night-in, night-in basis. So when you're going into a game, you can game plan as a coach of like, okay, we can take advantage of this.
Ross, is Tayson starting to figure the offense out? Because obviously he was good against Xavier, and then it seemed like a lot of that carried over into this.
Yeah, I thought he was actually really aggressive in the Clemson game. I thought he was aggressive, and he's impacting the game in a lot of different ways other than just shooting the ball. You know what I mean? He had 8 rebounds today. There hasn't been one game that we've played where I've looked out there and I thought physically he was getting overwhelmed by the game. Even in the Clemson game, they were very physical, but he's sticking his nose in there, he's rebounding, he's being aggressive, and it's only a matter of time before the full thing opens up for him. But I love his heart, and I love his aggressiveness, and that's what you want. And he's made the biggest strides, like, defensively. He's not a liability out there. And he's not somebody you can just kind of target and pick on, and he's take that challenge very well, and he's doing a lot of things that impact winning other than just shooting.
Coach, I'm not sure if I'll be able to communicate this the right way or not, but so with adding Chance and Jackson, and once they kind of get more accustomed and everything, and I mean, you really essentially have 10 guys now who you could make an argument for 20 minutes a game, 18, whatever.
Yeah.
That's really kind of unique in the sense where, if a team says, okay, you go 8 deep, well, the first 2 guys off the bench probably play 15 minutes, and the third, it's not like this. I mean, it's one thing to have options. Or is it possible to have too many options, I guess?
No, I wouldn't say that. I don't think any coach would sit up here and be like, man, we have too many options, But to speak to your point, it could lengthen and elongate the amount of time before we're really at our best. You know what I mean? Because you are adding 2 pieces into the mix, and as a coach, you want options, but then you're also trying to figure out, okay, what are your best lineup combinations? I think tonight we played Jasper and Amir together a lot for really the first time on the season, and a lot of it will just be dictated by the players' ability to execute what you're asking them to do. And the more people you get executing at the level you want, then you do have difficult decisions as a coach, But like I said it before, and it's not just coach speak, and I know everybody wants instant microwavable results, you know what I mean? And I'm not just coach speaking, but it'll take this group a little while. In particular, that's why our defense has got to anchor us, and we'll be finding ourselves and finding our rhythm, and the more they play together, the better they will be.
I mean, you could essentially do the hockey line.
Yeah, we ain't doing that, but you could, and I definitely trust those 10 guys, and they've all came through in their own way in some pretty big moments, and so it's just about kind of finding the comfort, and they got such great hearts. They pull for each other, and just got to continue to get better.
The rebound battle has been something you spoke about throughout this entire season, but 14 offensive rebounds for the team, 16 second chance points, 44 total. How was the effort today? Is this a good building block for what you want for the rest of the way, or is there a little bit more to improve on?
Yeah, well, there's always more to improve on. We did really challenge our guys, and I think that's where, to some of you guys, conversations about the forward depth, when you get Chance and Jackson back, what it does as a coach, it also allows you to hold people more accountable to going to offensive rebound, and there's been times throughout this year we haven't been a great offensive rebounding. Now we flipped the switch early and we have become a very good defensive rebounding team. I think coming into this game we may have been second in the country defensive rebounding percentage, but we had been poor rebounding the ball offensively, and I think some of that was the fatigue factor of having to play Belo, Harlan, DJ too many minutes, and you can keep them a little fresher and you can demand them go to the glass a little bit more, and that's an area we have identified throughout the course of this week, and we've got to do a better job of holding our guys accountable and getting them going when they're supposed to go.
Anything else? Coach, thank you.
That's a great shirt.